Hello, good evening. 7:30 Tuesday night, best time of the week. Super glad to be here and share this with you. I hope everyone's had a good start to the week. We got to have that public holiday yesterday, which has thrown me completely out of whack. It's like, the third week in a row we've had that short week there. So God help me next week if we have to do a full week. It might take me a little while to catch up, but looking forward to it. So we've got a few questions here. I'm going to wait till I start to see some comments come up so that I know that everybody is here. Just let me just check something. Just scrolling down so I can see you all. So let me know where you're watching from tonight, whether it be Facebook or Twitch or YouTube, just so that we know our channels are working. Hello. Hello, Kat. Hi, Katie. All right, give me 1 second. I'm just sorting out my screen as well. Okay. Are you guys watching? Where are you watching from? You guys are all on Facebook. I can see that because it tells me. Then why can't I see it? Otherwise, I can't see my comments as well. Okay. Technical error. Of course, Mercury retrograde is on its way. Hello, Adelaide. Is it really? Is it City of Churches? Is that what I hear? Oh yeah, I'm doing both. Check that out. All right. It's working. We are on. I have lots of emails and questions tonight, which I'm looking forward to, and some of them very interesting. I have my cards, as always, so I will be turning cards too. I've got some things to announce. Oh, it's all happening. Have you all got a cup of tea or a glass of wine? Have you all got yourselves a little something? Or some chocolate? Chocolate's always good. Oh, I tell you what I did start doing. I never really watch much TV, not like TV series and stuff like that. I love myself like DIY and home improvement. But I started on Sunday night. Was it Sunday night? Yeah, it must have been watching Bridgerton. Has anyone else been watching? Yeah, thanks, Katie. I just found it. Hi, James. Watching Bridgerton, and I pretty much have binged an entire season, and I'm into the second season. I love it. I love the castles and the dresses and the whole gentleman thing, and just love it. Hello, Margaret. Hello. So I'll be finished again soon because only 2 seasons, and that's where I get a little bit stuck because how else am I going to escape my reality if I don't have any more episodes to watch? So I do hope you're all well. Like I mentioned, I have some emails here to talk about tonight that have come through. I'm just going to let a couple other people jump on that I know did say that they wanted to come along. And again, tonight, if you have questions while we're going through, please pop them up in the comments and I can have a look there. Or as always, during the week, if you come up with a question or a topic or something like that, you can email me at askravenscooper@gmail.com. You can also message me. If you want to click me a text message, that probably works as well for all of my clients that have my number, because that way I can bring forward your emails and your questions, because quite often on the night we forget what we wanted to ask for. Hey, Kaz, how are you? Can you see my Raven cards, Kaz? They're right here. I'd have to pull them out in a couple of weeks. I've got my other bigger box. Ta-da! So we might even explore cards in a couple of weeks' time. So one of the first emails I got this week was from someone who wants to remain anonymous, but they had really good questions. So I scribbled them down straight away because I thought they were really good overall for everybody to have a look at. So these first lot of questions was, why do I choose oracle cards over a tarot deck? And I thought that was a really good question. I've been working with these oracle cards now, and these are these ones here. A lot of you are familiar with them. They're very, very popular. The Psychic Tarot Oracle deck. So it kind of covers everything. I don't know if you can see that very well. It's by John Holland. Oh, you're watching House, Katie. Oh, I love House. Have you ever seen an interview with him outside of the show when he just talks in like his normal voice and he's got like the American accent? It's a good show, but that's got a lot of seasons. That's going to keep you going for a while. So I use these ones. Now, the reason I went towards these cards were for a couple of things. So I've had these ones now, this particular set here, for about 15 years. They are just about falling apart. I absolutely love them. I did start traditionally, if we go back, back in my early 20s, only 4 or 5 years ago now, I started using that traditional tarot deck. And look, if you first ever start wanting to read cards, I think if you pick up that deck that looks like this, the ones that a lot of you have seen, they're brilliant, and they're wonderful, and the illustrations are great. But the problem I had with these ones was if a client came in for a reading and they had not seen tarot cards before or oracle cards before, and you're turning these guys and there's a death card and a fool card, and you've got the swords going through hearts and you've got towers burning down. I often did have people sort of mention to me like, oh my God, calling me the next day. Are you sure I'm not dying? I must be an idiot, all of these things, and trying to explain to them that that's not what those cards were about. And also I find the tarot deck, it has very set meanings. There's a lot of kind of do's and don'ts around tarot decks. And for me, just way too structured. However, as you know, and a lot of you have seen Eric and met Eric, he can read the tarot absolutely amazing. Okay, so that's where I think the tarot comes in well. If it's something that you want to spend a lot of time learning, as with an oracle deck. Now, here's the difference for me. This I have to use, so these traditional ones here, sorry that my screen's not working very well, you have to use the traditional meanings, okay? This is the Tower card, this is what it means, this is what it represents, here it is, okay? And you find yourself really studying tarot. As with oracle decks, I always say to people, if you buy an oracle deck, throw the book out. You don't need to sit there with the book and learn it all, learn every word. That's not what I did, and I like to take the rules away, because rules make things difficult, and difficult things are hard to do, and then we don't do it at all. So with these ones, like I said, these are the ones I use now. You'll see me reading with them tonight. These actually match the tarot deck almost perfectly. You can line them up. And it also includes for me the chakra cards, which is really important. You all know how important chakras are to me, how much I love them, and how much there's something I really use when I'm helping somebody. We might talk about the chakras or the throat chakra, or our solar plexus and things like that. So I enjoyed it for that purpose. But when I first originally bought these cards, and this is going to be another question that's coming up next, I just went to what I was drawn to. It did take me a little while to find what I wanted. I just remember walking in one day to a shop and I was like, that's it, that's them. Went home, literally just sat in front of the TV and started shuffling the cards. Because at first it was about putting all this energy into the cards. It was about just getting a feel for them. Do they feel good in the hand? Can I shuffle them? Are they, too big, too small? All those kinds of things. And I like with these particular cards, they do have this one word or two words at the bottom. Which does help in the beginning when you're starting to learn them. But what I did was, then I sat there and I would just go through the cards one by one going, all right, what does this card represent to me? What does it mean? Now, I don't do reverse cards. My cards are all as they land. So if it's reversed, it's the same meaning for me. Am I buffering? Does that mean there's a bit of a delay? We'll see how it goes. We might try and pick that up. YouTube is perfect. Okay. We had this problem last time. We tried to do these live shows on Facebook. Sometimes, again, because this is a very popular time of night and there's a lot of people on there and there's a lot going on, it does tend to buffer. So I do have my YouTube, Cats Watching YouTube Live now. That doesn't tend to get the same amount of buffering or the same issues coming through. So if you want to follow my YouTube, it's just Raven Cooper 333. You can go onto YouTube, subscribe, and then if you hit the little bell button, what that does is every time I go live, it will remind you. I'm starting to do more pop-up shows on YouTube as well. So during the day, if I have a few minutes between readings, or if I'm going to be going somewhere interesting or doing things, they're going to be going up on the YouTube. So if you can jump across to that, you'll probably find you can see it a little bit better. So just back to this one here, back to the Oracle cards. If the buffering gets too bad, please let me know. We're working very hard. Yeah. Thanks, Kate. Yeah, you're right. I have a few people that have sort of given me advice about Facebook and YouTube, and they're like, Facebook sometimes can be a little bit difficult. So I went with the Oracle cards. So like I said, I've worked with these for a very long time. It comes down to personal preference. I choose Oracle. They were easier for me to learn. I'm more comfortable with them. I just went through each card, used to sit there every night just going through them going, yep, that's what that one represents to me. That's what that one means to me. And funny enough, people that I know that read with these cards that did actually read the book often say to me, gee, you got the meanings right. I don't think I can get the meanings wrong. This is me working with my intuition, reading my cards. And I think that's another thing that I want to take away from people and just sort of go, stop worrying about all these rules and all these regulations and all these things you can and can't do. I'm telling you right now, I've done nothing anyone ever told me to do in the last 20 years that I've been a reader, and it's not stopped me being the reader that I am, and enjoying my work and loving my job, and my house hasn't burnt down, and I haven't been hexed, and my tarot cards didn't, catch on fire. So I know there's a lot of things that people do like to have and don't like to have when it comes to superstitions or reasons when it comes to the tarot or oracle deck. If I've offended you with that last comment, well, if I say sorry, that means I want to take it back, and I don't, so I'm not going to. So these ones here, that's why I read with Oracle. So if you are starting out, I think you need to find that deck of cards that you can work with every single day. I don't care if it's just 5 minutes. When I'm first teaching cards with people, they're like, oh yeah, but it's easy for you. You've been working with your cards for years. Yes, I have. And it did take me many months to get really good with the cards to the point where I didn't have to think. I knew what that card meaning was. I knew what it meant. So go to what you're drawn to. But I think too, quite often, I've got, these are my only cards that I read with. However, I've probably got 40 decks of cards here. It doesn't stop me buying more decks. It doesn't stop me loving the illustrations and enjoying them. But I think too often we give up and we walk away from reading cards because, you look at a deck of cards, it might have, 70 odd cards, and having to think, I've got to memorize them all. I've got to kind of get them all happening can take a long time. As I go, if you run with your intuition, you'll find every time you see that card, you intuitively know what it is, and you can move forward with it. So I think it's a personal choice. I choose Oracle. For me in the beginning, it was easier to work with. The deck that I was drawn to, I loved. So that's what worked for me. If it works for you, I want you to do it. If there's one thing that I am just, and those that used to come to Threefold and see me, I'm like, forget the rules. If the rules are stopping you, let it go. All right, because a lot of these things, in the subjects that we cover, these are theories, these are people's opinions, this is what they've tried, this is what they know, but that doesn't mean what you're doing is wrong. If you have to stand on your head in a purple dress to get your intuition coming through, then that's what you need to do. Don't let someone tell you that because you're doing it that way, you're broken. I think too many people walk away from these things because they become too difficult, and it shouldn't be. You bought cards because you loved them in the first place. It's like crystals. When we buy crystals and things like that, if you love them, if you go, I don't know what to do with this crystal, I just love looking at it, then just look at it. It's your crystal. Don't let someone else tell you what you can do with your things. And like I said, we're going to try and take some of these rules away. So next question, is it wrong to gift a set of Oracle or Tarot cards? I heard about 4 questions from the same person, which were really good questions, like I mentioned, and I'm going to keep going with them. Is it wrong to gift a set? Now, traditionally, you could only receive tarot cards if they were gifted to you. Lovely sentiment. Love the idea. I know cards that get passed down or parents that buy them, for their children. Here is your first deck of cards. Wonderful. Wonderful tradition. However, not necessary. Okay, so it's if I want to buy you a deck of cards, lovely. If you want to buy yourself a deck of cards, go right ahead. Do what you love. I don't think there's much of a problem with it. Oh, sorry, Kaz. So it's Raven Cooper 333. It should come straight up. I would like to put that in the comments, but I'm not smart enough yet to figure out how I put comments in the chat box, so that you can see them as well. So again, I don't think there's any rules. I will be doing readings shortly. Yep, I'll be turning cards. So coming down here, what quick daily tarot card spreads can we do? All right. So with these, it's all about consistency. You want to get to know your deck of cards and you want to turn cards for yourself. If you're sitting down having your morning coffee and you're turning that first card of the morning, if you're going to turn 12 cards, it's going to be a long cup of coffee and you're probably going to get a bit bored with it, especially if it's not giving you the cards that you want to see, and you're going to step away. I think a one card turn daily, with your favorite tarot deck, be using it, or oracle deck, using it consistently. Doesn't matter if it's angel cards, whatever you want it to be, just turning one, giving it a really good shuffle. Maybe there's one that jumps out. Maybe you have a certain number card that you like to pick. I'm always going to pick the third one, and working with it. 3 cards is always quite good too. So that's, what brought us to this situation, the pinnacle of that situation, and then the conclusion. So being able to look at how they kind of go across. But just looking for a daily card, I think just turning one card in the morning. And again, if you start doing it with the same deck of cards, sooner enough you're gonna start really knowing those cards, because you got to keep it up. It's like a muscle. You got to build it. You've got to use it and keep it going. And then this last question from Anonymous here. How often do I think a person should book in for a reading? 12 months, 6 months? Could I come monthly, work 1 month, relationships the next month? All of my clients, I always say to them, you just know when you're going to want another reading. It could be in a month's time. It could be 6 months' time. It could be 12 months' time. It could be 3 years' time. You just know when you're ready. If you're going through a lot of things, you might find that you need a couple of readings a little bit closer together, and then you find things are pretty settled. You've got your direction. You know where you're going, and then you can have a bit of a break between the readings. There are no set rules when it comes to that either. I have clients that see me on a weekly basis. One of my lovely clients, she always says, you just cheaper than my shrink, which I think is fabulous. Again, we have to do what works. So they were some quick questions from Anonymous. I have 2 more email questions that do involve me turning some cards here for 2 people, and then we're going to turn general cards to everybody else. If you do have some questions or anything that you'd like to ask, just pop it up in the comments, and we will try and get to you and make a list of who is after a general card tonight. So I only have 2 emails to talk about tonight. The first one is from Sharon. It says here, just a question for Tuesday night. I'm thinking about doing some house sitting for a few months. Intuitively, I believe it's a good thing, but suppose I'm looking for reassurance that I'm not just using it as an escape from a challenging home situation. We've all can relate to that, I think. Also, it will move me closer to someone I'm seeing. So will this be a good thing for the relationship? I think it'll be a good thing for you. As soon as I sort of read that question, I was like, you know what? It just feels good. I think, different postcode, different environment, some fresh ideas, maybe even just getting out of some habits there too, and realizing, maybe even having some more time to do the things that you love. I'm hoping this property that you're going to either has the pool or you're near the water, because I think that would be very good for you. I'm going to turn some cards. I'm going to turn 3 with this question just to see, like we said before, where we're at, where we're going, where we're going to end. So we're just looking at those 3 cards here. Move my book out of the way. All right, Sharon. I don't think you're trying to escape a challenging home situation. I'm not saying it's not challenging at home, but I think you acknowledge that and you know that, and that's a bit of a timeline thing, and that's kind of getting things sorted out. But if you can move a little bit closer for a little while, I think it's going to be a great idea. You might get free rides on the bus. All right, let me have a look, Sharon. Oh. All right. It's going to turn 3 cards here for you. Yeah, this is really good for you. Let me see if maybe I can just flick that over quickly for you. Does it come up? All right, so these 3 cards here, Sharon. This one here, going to give you I don't need to pick it up, do I? This is going to give you a good opportunity to really have a look at where you want to go next. Maybe that break, maybe that step away from the home environment is going to give you a bit of a bigger picture to look at. This is material harvest. So there could be a possibility where you're kind of thinking, you know what, if I harvested everything that I had, if I sold my home or I brought my money together, where could I go? Where could I go with this? But really right now, this is all about having some balance. This is about rising above that home situation that you have right now, just bringing in some balance, being able to breathe, being able to think clearly, just being able to relax. But you are going to come back with a little bit of a different plan and a little bit of a different mind frame, I think, or thoughts here, because you come back and decide to reassess everything. This is all around home, work, money, and security. So we've got here home, dreams, relationships, our path. So going back and going, okay, you know what? I've come back, had a great time, had some time to breathe. Now I want to reassess everything. So do I think this is a good opportunity and you should take it? Absolutely. But do I think it is going to make some bigger changes along the way? Yes, I do. So I think it's a great idea, Sharon. You should absolutely do it. I love it. And I have one more email question here before I just start turning general cards for people. So Lisa has emailed in. I know I have a reading. She does. She has one coming up with me, but wants to know about some big changes that might be coming in for her with work. So I'm going to have a look at that now. All right, Lisa, giving the cards another shuffle. I'm just going to see what I'm drawn to. Oh, you turn a base chakra card straight off the bat, Lisa. We know what that's all about, which is exactly what... Ooh, that's, getting a bit better. We're going to head down this one here. All right. So looking at these cards, base chakra, exactly what we're talking about. Homework, money, security. Okay, and this was a work question. But for some reason here, and 3 ones. Each one of these cards are number 1. All right, so new direction, moving forward. But this work challenge that you're having, if you look at changing work, I think it may even get a little bit in the way of maybe some love here or a relationship. But it's just saying here, there's going to be a new home, or maybe we need to change the home or where we are. And in that, it becomes a job change. So even if the job you're at the moment maybe is a little, like we said, got things going on, don't worry too much. What we're going to do is change everything, because it's about getting our passions back as well. If I was just to read these straight out, I'm like, change home, because it's going to bring that love in that you're looking for, and it's going to bring the passion back. But sometimes, we've signed contracts, or we have those work contracts that we have to fulfill first, or maybe we need to get a little bit of money in the bank. You're very welcome, Sharon. I hope you have a lovely time house sitting. But for me here, this isn't just about security. This isn't just about a job. This is about lifestyle. This is mental health over dollars. Okay. And if we can do that, this new person coming in for you as well. So we've got a bit of a relationship starting, and this passion, look at the fire in her belly. She's completed what she set out to do, but now she's ready to move forward. The V in her neck, because it's time to speak her truth. So I'd really look at, what are my options around work? We may have, like I said, something we have to finish up there where we're contracted to something. But really, I think let's make the decision from our heart, not our heads. Because it's time for a bit of a love story here and those passions to come back. But definitely here, I think it's more about a home change. It's about, where do I want to work and where do I want to be living? You have control of this. I feel like where you are, you could stay, but it's not about the money, and it's not about, the security. It's about mental health and where your heart sits right now. And I think you'll make the change, and it's going to bring all those passions back and that new direction. So love that. All right, now it's time to start turning cards. Okay, let's have a look who has come up. Okay, so I've got one here. I've got a question. I've talked to other tarot readers and asked, one question was about my crush. I asked if me and her are going to have something going, and she said this might be a soulmate. I wanted the same reading from you, Raven. Thank you so much. Oh, you only have iTunes Music. You can just go onto YouTube. YouTube would be just as easy. Angela. Okay, so let's have a look about your crush and this question. Let's have a look. And Kate, I will get to you next. It's hard when I'm talking to watch the questions at the same time. And M as well. So let me just write these down. Who did I just say? Kate, Bryce, and then M's are going to have a question as well. Gee, they'll be interesting cards, won't they? But I do want to answer this one. Is it Alphane? Am I getting that right? Okay. And a question about your crush at the moment. You know what I think right now when I just read that question and I thought about it? It's not about is this person your soulmate or is this person your crush? It's about what are you going to do when you get stuck between two? I feel like there's someone else that's going to be coming in. You're very welcome. There's someone else coming in here. And you're going to be a little bit stuck in that situation where you're like, oh, I finally got the one that I wanted. This person that I wanted has finally come in. And then you're like, oh, Dan, there's another one over here that's kind of got my interest as well. And you may have to choose. And you may be interested to see who you choose. But I'm going to turn a couple of cards for you anyway. Let's have a look. Oh, Eric is well. He is really well. He is studying. I still get to see him every week. We don't get to do the radio show together anymore either with his studies and his timetables. But Eric is great. He's good. All right. Alphane, let me just turn these cards for you now. Again, I want to turn 3. Just because I think, ooh, that's what we want to see if you're talking about a soulmate. Yeah. Oh, okay. Very interesting. Like I said to you, there could be someone else coming in here. So this is my harmony card, okay? Just like it looks. We got this wonderful fairy tale. We got fairy lights. We got all these things going on here. They come in very equal together. We've got all that green light because it's all about the heart chakra. But this is my fairy tale card. And just like I talked about earlier, I went and got, my deck of cards 15 years ago, sat and learned all of the interpretations that they meant for me and my intuition. Now, I love a good fairy tale. Most of us too. Most of us grew up watching fairy tales. But the part that we miss, the part that we don't quite see is 85% of a fairy tale is really hard bloody work. Okay, they're either locked in a castle and they've got to try and escape, or she's being kissed without her consent, or she's got little dudes to look after. There's like a whole lot of stuff going on. And then at the very end, that 85% of the way through the movie, in comes the partner. Here I am. Everything's amazing. Sweeps them off their feet and they live happily ever after. But if you only saw the last 10 minutes, you would think that there was no drama in that story or in that movie. So this is saying here, this is a bit like that fairy tale. It's taken a while. There is a story to tell. There has been some heartache and some loss. Is there going to be a happily ever after? Now, this is what caught me earlier, is this sacrifice card. Because at the moment, it's a little bit dark. And are you going to come out of this and be rewarded? But at what cost? At what cost is it to be with your soulmate? Do you have to change yourself? Do you have to change who you are? Is there a big move? Are you loving them more than they're loving you? But what I do know is what coming in is a big change. This is my shadow card. This is a bit like night and day. There's going to be a passing of the baton. It says here that you've been sitting in the dark for a little while. Maybe you didn't know the whole story. Maybe they've not told you everything, but it's all going to come to light. Okay, it's all coming around now, and then you're going to be able to make your decision. Once you make this decision, though, you will not be passing it back. So once you're like, you know what, this is who I want to be with, then that's what you're going to do. But if you decide to maybe go with this other person that's going to be around you, I think then that's going to be okay now. But if you give up one, you can't have them back. And sometimes we think that person's the only person that we want, that we would give up everything for them, that they're absolutely everything to us, and then someone else comes along and you're just like, wow, now there's 2 there to look at. Soulmates are interesting because just because someone's your soulmate doesn't necessarily mean they're a life partner. There could be a lesson, there could be learning there. There could be a shorter term thing. Yeah. So for me right now, let it play out a little bit. Let the fairy tale play out. We've got to go through all that nitty gritty stuff before we get to the happily ever after. And in the end, you know, the person being saved gets asked. They don't just get taken. So you do actually have some choice here. You will have to wait it out. But to be honest, I think actually you'll go with the second person. All right. What are we up to? All right. Kate, and then M, and then Kat. And then, do we have another Kat? Gee, there's a lot around tonight. All right. So this one is for Kate. I didn't quite catch your question, Kate. I can't remember if it was about, is there any area in my life I need to pay attention to right now? Nah. No one said we should take any of it seriously. Let it all go. Let's have a look. I'm in the mood for 3 cards tonight. I don't know why. I just am, so that's what I'm doing. Why? Because I can. Oh, okay. No wonder. Oh. Not bad. Excuse the sigh as I turn them over. You know what's interesting is you're kind of like, is there anything I need to pay attention to? And these cards scream, yes, absolutely, you. It says here that you're really looking for clarity, and I'm looking to look at where do I want to go and what do I want to be, you know, and what do I really want? That clarity, that third eye. All right. But here we have the crown chakra, and that's all about before we can find clarity, we need to find wholeness. You know, we need to be comfortable in our skin with who we are and where we're headed and what we want. So we've got that clarity coming in and that really strong sense of self. And then everything's going to change really quickly. I only have one card here that controls time, and it's this one. And you're like, oh my God, bang, bang, bang. This is when you turn around after 3 months and you're like, my job changed, my home changed, my relationship status changed, you know, my money in the bank changed. It's like everything's going to change really quickly, but you will feel like you're on the outside looking in. All right, it's a bit like pinch myself. What's going on here? Is this a dream? Because things are happening so fast. But really, is there a particular area in your life you need to focus on? You. Clarity and where you want to go. None of us are who we were 5 years ago. And none of us are who we're going to be in 5 years' time. And quite often we get lost in that in between. So it's really about just focusing, finding wholeness. But is it all going to change very fast? Yes. So exciting times. This crown chakra, it's really, it's a little hard. I don't think it gets enough credit when we talk about chakras. I think it's hard to explain because it can be something that's quite individual because it's about your gods and your connection with yourself or the universe or what you believe in. But this wholeness that comes with it, that's very, very important. So clarity, yes, but that clarity is going to come from within and getting comfortable in your skin and recognizing where you are now in your world and who you are. And then once you do that, babe, very quick, very quick. All right, M. Oh, my cards are going to catch on fire. I'm going to need some water, some holy water. It's M. Oh, emotional withdrawal just jumped out. M. That's all about taking the emotion out and do what's smart. It's like if you asked your best friend, you know, what would she tell you to do? Well, it depends which best friend you ask, right? Because you've got the ones that are going to say go for it, and then the ones that say no, don't. I'm going to tell you to go for it because I gave up my morals years ago. It was heaps better. Let's have a look. 3-card night tonight. Oh, and before we go just much further, I will forget if I don't mention it. My intuitive development and chakra workshop is coming up on May the 28th. You can book through either any of the email addresses. So ravencooper333@gmail.com. You can text me. My number is all over the Threefold Facebook page. I will put the details above this video tonight. To book in, it is $85. It is May 28th. You will get your own pendulum and pendulum chart to take home. Don't worry if you already have a pendulum. You always usually need more than one anyway. But majority of the workshop, that beginning part, is going to be a lot about intuitive development, the exercises you can be doing, how you can, you know, get those muscles working again and improve your intuition on lots of different ways. And then we go looking at the pendulums, because we're not going to be just talking about yes or no answers. We're going to be looking at, you know, how you can balance and look at chakras with your pendulum, how you can find things, using lists or different ways to even ask questions about work, how to work best, with it. So all those things that come along with it too. So if you do want to book in, please let me know. I will put the details at the top. You can either message me, like I mentioned, through, you can either do Ask Raven at gmail.com. You can do ravencooper333 at gmail.com. If you have my number, you can text me. You can message me through Facebook as well, but I will try and get into contact with you as soon as I can. And you can pay for that workshop via PayPal, or we can do a bank transfer, and I'm more than happy to send you my details. But it is limited spaces. I am keeping the numbers low so it can be a little bit more intimate. I can answer more questions. We can have some more one-on-one sort of time. But the end of May. So please, if you do want to get into that, let me know. All right, I've made you wait long enough. All right, I'm gonna go down here, okay? 1. And we're gonna go this one. And here. Let's have a look. And I have some good news for you, because y'all know that's my good sex card. So let's everybody wants that one, right? So this, at the moment, these 3 cards, what we're looking at here is fire in your belly, your passions. What is it that you love to do? Because that's what you need to be doing. You need to be getting some excitement and some fun, you know, and sex is important with others, with yourself. It doesn't matter how you do it as long as you're doing it. But this card here is all about, those fires, those passions. Sometimes we don't find it from work. Sometimes we don't find it from cleaning the house or doing things. Some people do, and that's wonderful. But here it's like, I am woman, hear me roar. Step into your feminine energy. There could be a little bit of reward at work as well. A little bit of promotion, a little bit of acknowledgement here, a little bit of extra money. The universe is shining down on you. We have this number 3 here. So that's kind of like we talk about the creation of something new. So maybe some more opportunity at work, or some more money, like I said, or a promotion. But the universe is shining down on you, but he's got his head down. So the boss comes up to you, Em, and says, oh my God, you're doing a great job. And you're like, oh my God, imagine if I really applied myself. And I'm like, shut up. Just take the compliment. They think you're doing great. Let's take it. If they want to give you the promotion, let's take it. If they want to give, more money, let's take it. But however, you are about to go on a whole new journey coming up. Whether this is a relationship that you're looking at, and, you're cautious about, do I take the leap? If this is a job offer and you're like, do I take the leap? Do I change my job? This card tells me absolutely you should. Because here what he's doing is he's leaving the familiar and he's going on a new journey. He has his book of wisdom here. So you have all the knowledge you need to be able to do this, but he keeps looking back at that comfort zone. He keeps looking back at that house, and he's like, oh, but if I leave that, will I be safe? And this comes back, this card, particularly to maybe the Fool card in Tarot, where it's, jump off the cliff and trust the net will appear. And of course, the Fool does that. He jumps off and the net catches him, or the cloud, and lowers him to the ground, and he walks on. And you kind of go, well, how did he make that happen? And he just chatted with the gods earlier. What is it that you want? What are you trying to manifest? What are you asking the universe for? So right now, have a lot of fun. Acknowledgement at work. So if you're applying for a new job or there's a promotion around you, definitely I think it's time to take it. Whether you think you deserve it or not is irrelevant. Take it. But it is going to bring you a new journey. You will have to step away from the familiar and maybe even from family a little bit to do that. But would I want these cards? Yeah, absolutely. So I hope that was helpful. Good luck, Em. Miss your face. Haven't seen you in a while. All right. And now I've got Cat. Let me turn a card for you, Cat. Cat watches on YouTube. All right, Cat, let's have a look. I'll give you 3 cards too, pups. I'm going to do all 3 today. And then we have another Cat, and then we have Belinda. You're welcome. You're welcome, Cat. And I'm assuming that was for Em. All right, let's have a look, Cat. Oh, that one wants to be a little bit difficult. Oh, I turned it before I even... Oh, I like that. And this one, look, not as great as the last 3 we just turned for Em, but this one's good. But this is the problem here, is the moving on card. Blue, speaking our truth. What is it that you really want? But we're out of the dark into light. But the problem is he's holding the timepiece, okay? So it's kind of saying you're only going to move as quickly as you decide. Do nothing, you're going to sit still. Be active, you're going to move forward. I guess with this card, what it means here it's your choice. So with this card, it's like, okay, with some people I have to say, look, I'm really sorry, you're going to lose your home, due to this, and this. and there's nothing they can really do. The timing's not up to them. It is what it is, and how it's happened. With this card, you do hold the opportunity of the timeline, but then when's the due date? When do we start it? When do we get it done? When do we move forward? So out of the dark, into the light, but you can take your sweet ass time if you like, or you can hurry. It's completely up to you. The universe isn't going to force it, but sometimes due dates are necessary to get us to do things. This next card is the light card. She's like, this is fabulous. This is like, oh my God, I stepped into the light. This is fantastic. Stay in it for a minute. As humans, we so get to the light at the end of the tunnel. We've worked so hard to get to, and then we just jump on the next train and get back in another tunnel. It's like, oh, you've done that, tick next. And I'm like, no, stop. Enjoy the light. Enjoy where you are. Enjoy just even some everyday things even, but just enjoying things because this is the spiritual strength card, and here he is focusing on himself, trying to be centered, but unfortunately, well, not unfortunately, but you are going to have to, this is spiritual strength, support someone around you or support the people around you a little bit. And that's difficult because you're over here trying to enjoy yourself and enjoy the hard, you've worked hard and you've earned this time to enjoy yourself. But here it's like, oh yeah, I'm in this really good spot, and then you're like, oh, I've got to go and help people. But I know that's you. I know you get just as much joy out of helping people as you do looking after yourself, or maybe a little bit more looking after yourself would be a good idea. So yeah, going to be a good place for you. Maybe not for a few people around you, but you will support them. But not bad cards. Not bad cards. All right, let's have a look. So now we've got another cat, a cat Hoy, if I've got that right. Oh, and then Belinda. Okay. Cat Hoy. Now, I don't always do 3 cards on a Tuesday night. Sometimes I do 1, but tonight, for some reason, I'm into the 3. Ooh, I'm into the 3. I'm always into 3s, we know that. All right, so looking at these 3 cards, bringing them together, okay? This one here, rest and rejuvenate. So, Kat, what are you doing that you love? All right, and what do you do to rejuvenate? Now, that's not about, going into the forest and doing meditation like it is in this picture. It is if you love it and it rejuvenates you. That's what you should do. But what do you do that you love? And that is, okay, I'm going to use myself as an example. I love my clients. I love reading. It is my passion. I've done it for as long as I can remember. But when it comes to the weekend, I want to go out. I want to go out and have some lunch. I want to go and look at the op shops. I want to get out and about into the world. I don't want to meditate. I don't want to sit in Zen because I've done that all week. I want to go out and explore the world. So by the time I get back to Monday, and I'm coming back into my office and I'm getting ready to do people's readings, I want to go into that zone. I want to go into that place. So rejuvenation for me is about building up those batteries, okay? Looking after yourself. Why? Because then you have the fertility card. Good card if you're looking for a pregnancy, or maybe someone very close to you may be looking at getting pregnant. But this is more about also getting your head and your heart on the same page and the birth of something new. See, when I see this card, this rest and rejuvenate, I'm like, okay, rejuvenate, recharge the batteries because something as big is coming. And this fertility card is like the birth of something new, getting your head and heart on the same page. So if you were looking at a child or getting pregnant, this is a really great card for that. Or a new beginning, a new job, a new relationship, but the birth of something new. We've got all these new sort of, little leaves coming out here like in spring. But this is the transformation card. This is going to be massive. The transformation card is a very interesting card for me because you were going along for a while, just an analogy, but, you're going along as the caterpillar. The caterpillar knows it's a caterpillar and it's a good caterpillar. It does a great job at being one. But then one day it kind of goes into a cocoon. All right, I guess it's forced to rest and rejuvenate, and its body's changing and its mind's changing and everything. It's growing things and it's no longer a caterpillar. And, then the cocoon breaks open. He's like, holy shit, butterfly. Okay, and that's the whole point. You're in that transition period. It's uncomfortable. It's hard. It can feel a little tight. It can feel a little lonely. A lot of things going on. But one thing for sure is the butterfly can't go back to become a caterpillar. Okay, so where you're going to, we won't be coming back from that. So if it's a new job, we'll move forward. You know, with a baby, obviously that's a whole life change, or new beginnings coming in. But you're just kind of stuck in that in between part. And just like the caterpillar, it's really uncomfortable. But when that cocoon breaks open, it's really good news. But even then, that caterpillar that's now a butterfly has to learn to fly. But you know what? Heart on your sleeve here. A lot of green, a lot to do with the heart chakra. But really good cards. Really good cards. Oh, we're doing well tonight. Hopefully we can keep this going with these good cards. All right, let's have a look. We've got Belinda. Oh, it's getting a little warm in here. Is it warm in here or just my menopause? Okay, I'm back. Put the fan on. Oh, you need it for a couple of minutes. We all know that. Okay, Belinda. How you doing, Belinda? Hey, I hope you're good. Oh, Kaz, I see you found us. Okay, Belinda, let's turn 3 cards for you. Ugh, patience, a little bit of vomit. Who wants patience? That was our card for the week last week, wasn't it? Patience. All right, so having a look at this right now for you, Belinda, this patience card. Look, difficult, the best of times to be patient with things. It says all these seeds have been planted, but we've got to allow them to grow. When they do, they're going to bring us that white lily of peace. They're going to bring us, better things. But at the moment, it's going to take a while to get there because you are in 2 minds about what you want to do. This is you in your own head. This is the kind of card where there is probably days when you don't want to tell yourself to shut up because you're like, oh my God, I just can't think about it anymore. I'm driving myself crazy. And this one here is just mental conflict. Geminis understand this statement very easily where you're just kind of like battling yourself and there's 2 of you and you don't know whether you want to stay or go or you want to stay at that job or change that job or stay in that house or move or keep that friendship. So much just to and froing going on. But not to worry because the answer is going to come quite quickly. All right, this is that accelerated motion. This doesn't get any, like I said, I don't have another card that controls time. And this one here is saying you're going to feel like you're on the outside looking in. Everything's going to happen really, really fast. A bit like the comet going past. It's like, wow, that's really pretty. That's traveling really fast. But at the moment, you've sat in this patience for a while now. And it's getting the better of you or someone, even just taking advantage of that patience that you have. And here going, you know what? That's it. I've made my decision and I'm going to move forward. I have empathy for you for these cards. This one here is very difficult. I am someone that often gets in my own head. And so for me, having to make some of those bigger decisions sometimes and weighing up all the options. So, maybe sometimes just writing that list or find that good person that you can speak with because it's blue for the throat chakra. So you really do need to be able to communicate this and move it forward and make the decision. But once you make the decision, it'll happen fast. Okay, so it's all like once you say go, we're going. But again, good cards in as much as, there's no money loss here. There's nothing here that freaks me out because I think we're going to get to that. We're going to get to the really hard stuff. It's just making these big decisions right now, which is also difficult. Don't let me take, how important this decision is away. It's more about just be careful. We're not overthinking, it's keeping us awake at night because no one is at their best when they're tired. No one can make a good decision, and then that starts affecting our eating and our lives and our mental health. So for you, it's about going, maybe we've been thinking about this long enough now. Maybe we've been patient enough and it's time to start getting things moving. Oh, so good. So good. Did I catch everybody? Have I missed anyone on the list tonight that was looking for a general card? I think I've moved through a lot of them. Hi. Is that Denise? Am I seeing it right? And my words are a little bit smaller here. Hi. If you'd like a card, I have time to maybe turn. Yes, you can have a general card. Now, that was perfect timing. You kind of slid straight in there. So, Denise, if I'm saying that right, I'm going to turn a general card for you. Let's have a look. Like I mentioned earlier, if you are watching this on the YouTube, if you subscribe and hit that little bell button, I'm going to be doing a lot more sort of like pop-up shows during the day when I have a little bit of time where I can jump on, have a quick chat, turn some cards, give out some messages. But we are finding that the YouTube is a little easier than the Facebook when it comes to being able to just keep that feed live and going well and not getting the buffering. Have a little bit of news too before we finish up tonight. So you'll have to hang in there. All right. Okay, Denise, I'm going to turn these 3 cards for you. Let's have a look. Oh, I like that. Oh, we'll take both of those. 3rd time's the charm. Let's have a look. Yep. All right, so here, this hope card, those things that you've been wishing for, those things that we are hoping for, they are soon going to be coming along. But it's interesting, you can't quite see, I don't know if you'll be able to see here. There's a little tiny person in that gold light in those hands. So if you are looking for someone to come into your life, or you're wanting to see somebody or somebody that you've been trying to get come visit, or maybe, you're single and you'd like to have a partner come in, or maybe you're just looking at things, maybe there's some hope there. You're like, maybe there's a house decision, or there's like I said, a relationship decision, a work decision, but that thing that you've been hoping for definitely coming into your hands. It is going to help make you feel, this is the crown chakra, whole again. This is about feeling really good with self, trusting in the universe. So sometimes when we're manifesting things or relationships or people, it's a little bit difficult because you're like, come on universe, I want it tomorrow, but it can take it that little bit longer because it's hard to get 2 humans in the right place at the right time, or the right situation, or the right job, or the right house. But this is going to be coming in. But take the emotion out and do what's smart. This is the emotional withdrawal card. So maybe if this was a house that I was looking at and it's like, oh, I really, I love the street, but the house isn't great. Take the emotion out. Smart decision. Worst house, best street. Okay. Or maybe it's someone that's coming along on a relationship level and you're kind of like, you know what, this person's very different to what I've dated before. They're presenting very differently. Take the emotion out of maybe the anxiety from past experiences, and give it a shot, give it a chance. The same with work or any of this kind of, it's like this hope is coming in, this opportunity is coming your way, but maybe that anxiety kicks in, and we get worried about it. And I'm like, what would you tell your best friend to do? You'd be like, girl, you've been wishing for this, you've been wanting this, now go for it. So don't let that pressure, that anxiety hold you back from where it is that you want to be, because it's coming. It really is. What you're hoping for is coming. Lovely cards. So my YouTube channel, if you want to jump onto there, it is Raven Cooper 333. I will actually put that on the Facebook comments, and if I can comment on Twitch, I will pop that on there as well. And you might want to grab hold of that because, like I said, you're very welcome. We've got a few things coming up. This is going to be every Tuesday night, and I want to do more and more of them throughout the week. I want to get people on that we can chat to as well. I wouldn't mind doing maybe getting someone to come on and doing a little bit of a live reading for them. So a couple of things coming up. I've mentioned my workshop that's coming up. Also, there's a chakra high tea coming up at Reed's Place at Scarborough. It is a vintage high tea, all those lovely things. Thank you so much for subscribing. All those lovely things that you would love with a high tea, so all that gorgeous handmade beautiful food at Reed's Place. And then we're going to be doing the chakra development workshop as well. You receive all of the crystals, the necklace and the booklet, and my intuitive development workshop coming up on May the 28th. And of course, these shows every Tuesday night, 7:30. Get your questions to me. AskRavenCooper@gmail.com. maybe try and leave it in the comments. If I can grab hold of it, I will. You can text me. And again, like I said, it's more about you. I will always turn general cards on the night. So if you just want to do like we did tonight, can I have a card, please? That will always go on. But if you have a bit of a life dilemma, maybe you want to know how to cleanse your home. Maybe you want to know about a crystal. Maybe you want to know how to balance a chakra. Any of those kind of metaphysical questions, please send them in to me. I'm super keen to answer them. But we are going to be doing a little bit of a giveaway. I'm going to let you know all of the details next week on a prize that we're going to have. We're going to do it over the month. Okay. I know you're all going to be keen for it. I actually want to show it to you right now because I've already got it organized, but I'm going to leave you in suspense until next week. But we are going to be putting out a little bit of a giveaway where if you do subscribe and to my YouTube channel, and if you comment or hit the little bell button so that you're reminded that it's coming, you know what? Let's start it this week. I'm going to go and fetch it. I can't wait. I'm an Aries. I'm back. I haven't left. I never really do. I came across a set of tarot cards that I absolutely adored, and I couldn't help myself. I had to get 2 sets so I could have one for myself and one to share with you guys. This is the Witches Tarot. It's absolutely amazing. It does come with the book inside as well, of course, that you might want to read through, and the cards. They're completely sealed. They are brand new. I absolutely love this deck of cards. And so this is going to be our giveaway for the month. This is going to run for the month of May. If you subscribe to my YouTube channel, comment and hit the reminder button, the bell, so you know when I'm popping up live, because although I will always do the 7:30 on a Tuesday night, we're going to do those pop-up shows during the week and in the mornings as well. So this is the Witches Tarot deck. This is going to be my giveaway. I will be sending it out to you. And everyone that, like I said, subscribes, comments and hits the bell button on YouTube will go into the draw. And I'm going to be doing lots of these kinds of giveaways, from readings with me to cards and who knows what else, whatever tickles my fancy and maybe your fancy too. So let's do it this month of May, because it's the 3rd. It's a 3. It's a lucky number night to do it. So if you have subscribed tonight, you will count. You will go into the draw, and we're going to run this through until, oh, look at that. May just happens to finish on a Tuesday. So we will get that happening. Yeah, do you, Kaz? This is a great deck of cards. I love it. So when I came across it, I was like, this is what I want to share with everybody. I certainly can, Kat. I will write that straight down now and book that in for you guys. You're going to love it. It's going to be a fantastic workshop. I'm super, 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 super excited to do it because it's been a while. The pandemic kind of really stopped me being able to do those one-on-one, big workshops where we could all get together face-to-face and enjoy each other's energy. So you are definitely booked in. Like I said, please let me know. Get hold of me. Email, text, pigeon. I don't care. Let's get this workshop happening. Oh, it's your birthday coming up this week. So what are we, April? Are you Taurus? You Taurus, Kat? No, sorry, Kate. Kate, you Taurus. Is that right? We still in Taurus? Yes, we are. You're welcome, Kat. A Taurus, big heart. It was my daughter's 17th birthday on Saturday. So she's Taurus as well. Love myself a good Taurus. You can't rush a Taurus. They're going to do it in their own time, no matter what. But big hearts and very loyal, super stubborn, but you know what? You don't want to fight one, but you definitely want one on your team. So I'm going to be giving out details every week up until the end of May about these tarot cards, because I absolutely love them. So we're going to turn one more card, just a general card for everybody for the week. Last week when we turned this card, I'm pretty sure it was the patience card. Didn't do me any help. I certainly didn't get any more patient. But it did force me to be a little bit more patient, which was, how it goes. All right, let's turn a general card for the week. Ooh. I'll try and be kind. I'll try. I can't promise anything. Bridgerton. I started at the beginning talking about Bridgerton. I started watching it Sunday. Oh, I love it. So looking forward to finishing the last few episodes of that. I think it's only got 2 seasons, so not too much longer. Hey, do we want to talk a bit about star signs next week? Do we want to talk a little bit about astrology? I might start trying to throw up some general questions during the week too of things that you might like to cover. Or like I said before, drop me a line, drop me a comment on suggestions. So let's do our card for the week. All right. No pressure, but it better be good, right? Patience. Oh, yeah, but Kaz, you're an Aries like me, aren't you? Patience can be a little difficult. All right, let's have a look. All right, we're going to go this one. I keep going back there. Oh, mental conflict. Okay, what do I love about this card? Nothing. It's blue, so we need to speak our truth. But this week we might find we're all a little bit in those two minds, can't really make the decision, bit of pondering going on. Not sure that what it is that, we want to do. Too much contemplating, probably procrastinating. Something I'm very, very good at. And just feeling like this in two minds. If you are a Gemini, you're probably going to be really, really intense because this is, Gemini being the twins, both of you, very similar feeling where you're like, I don't know what I want to do. I don't know what I want to do. But you might need to tell yourself to shut up a little bit. Okay, it's like, you know what, just shut up, go for a drive, go for a walk down the beach, step away from it and then come back and look at it again. But here, just watching that there's not too much mind chatter going on. We're not overthinking it or worried about things that haven't even happened yet, that actually aren't on the table. We're looking at, a particular problem and we're looking at the 45 things that could happen. And it's like none of those things have happened yet. Maybe we could just be prepared, but don't overthink it. Reminder, even though next week is the 9th, on the 10th of May, we go Mercury retrograde. Yay. Technology is going to break down. Communications are going to suck. You're probably going to hear from people from your past. Dates are going to get changed. Be careful who you're sending that text message to because it might just be the wrong person or maybe you received the wrong text message. Exes often come back. It doesn't mean that you're meant to be with them. It's usually a reminder of why you're not with them or maybe, we had to end that timeline or maybe something needed to be sorted. But do watch that Mercury retrograde. We've got about 2 weeks from the 10th and it's going to be hectic. Oh, Delia, how are you? Yes, I did mention you last week on the show, sending you lots of healing vibes and absolute love. I think turning those cards for you is a bit more on a personal level. I know you've been through something huge, so I think we'll try and catch up during the week with you recovering and do that for you. Good card when it comes to the mental conflict, remember. Why? Well, even though before I said it wasn't, but why? What can we see that's good in it that it can't last forever and we can make those good decisions? That's all I have for this week. I've had heaps of fun. It's great because you can't really back chat me and I can just talk shit and you have to listen. Also, I was just having a quick look then through Kate Bryce, the yes please, yes sounds good. Oh no, Kate Bryce, yes please. I'm not quite sure if that was for the workshop or if you were just asking for patience because we could all need that. If you do, like I said, I'm going to put all the details above this video that you can get in contact with me and get onto my YouTube. You got a month. These cards are amazing and you're going to love them. I'll show them off a little bit more next week. I have had a fantastic time tonight as always. Send me your messages. It's not hard. It's exactly what this says here. AskRavenCooper@gmail.com. Okay, and I'm happy to ask you those questions. You don't have to ask for a general card in those emails because on the night I will turn them if your name comes up. Oh, you're a Cancerian. Oh, Sagittarius rising. There's some fire. And a Pisces. Pisces moon, Sag. You've got that fire and water. Oh, and then that water Cancer. Oh, hang on. A Cancer sun and a Pisces moon. Woo, there's some emotion there. That's amazing. That's huge. You're all very, very lovely. All enjoy the rest of your evening. Get a good sleep tonight, beautifuls. And I will see you next Tuesday. Bye. Have a great week. Email me.